Arsenal made a statement at the Emirates with a ruthless 5-0 victory over Leeds United. Goals from Jurrien Timber, Bukayo Saka and of course Viktor Gyökeres, plus a penalty won by none other than 15-year-old debutant Max Dowman, showed not just attacking brilliance but tactical dominance. In this breakdown we'll analyse the systems, the key moments, the data and why Arsenal were able to dismantle Leeds so comprehensively. Let's start with the snapshot. Arsenal opened through Jurrien Timber, who scored twice from corners inside 40 minutes, both superbly taken, highlighting set-piece superiority. Bukayo Saka added a third just before half-time, but was unfortunately forced off with an injury soon after. In the second half, Viktor Gyökeres came alive, netting his first 2 Premier League goals, one from open play and the other from the penalty spot. The penalty was won by 15-year-old Max Dowman, the second ever youngest player to appear for Arsenal in their history. However, the game didn't come without its negatives. For Mikel Arteta, he now has to manage with injuries to the likes of Saka and captain Martin Odegaard, who were both withdrawn early. Tactically, Arsenal lined up in their familiar 4-3-3, but in possession, it morphed into the usual 2-3-5. The fullbacks inverted, Rice and Zubimendi took turns anchoring and often pushed into the left or right half spaces to support attacks, while the other sat deep. Leeds set up in a 4-2-3-1, looking to sit in a mid-block and spring forward through their wingers. But Arsenal's positioning play was relentless. Notice on the average positionings map, Arsenal's front 5 maintained a vertical and horizontal staggering, stretching Leeds. This forced Leeds double pivot deeper, cutting off their counter-attacking outlet, and crucially, Arsenal's set-piece routines were decisive. Both of Timber's goals came from clever corner variations, exploiting Leeds' lack of concentration in zonal coverage. Now let's look at the standout performers. Jurrien Timber was the obvious man of the match. Please, I'm always open for debate. Let me know in the comments if you want to argue otherwise. 2 goals from set pieces, but more importantly, he added balance on the right side, overlapping as well as underlapping Saka to create overloads. His heat map shows his constant involvement in advanced areas. Bukayo Saka was very sharp until his unfortunate injury. Fingers crossed it's not too bad. He did, however, score with a very composed finish and carried a 0.11 expected goal involvement in just the 45 minutes that he was involved. His link with Odegaard and Timber remains one of Arsenal's strongest patterns. Viktor Gyökeres announced himself properly. Finally, you could see the relief on his face after that first goal, but after a nervy early miss, he finished clinically for his first goal and converted a late penalty with confidence. 3 shots, 2 goals, 1.28 XG, exactly what Arsenal needed from their new striker. And of course, how could we forget about Max Dowman? At 15, he played with incredible maturity. Just watch the penalty he wins, driving directly at defenders, fearless. His cameo added a layer of excitement to an already dominant performance. From a tactical perspective, Arsenal's success came from 3 areas. Firstly, set pieces. Rice's deliveries and Arsenal's movement punished Leeds' zonal defending. Second, positional dominance. Arsenal's 2-3-5 shape denied Leeds any passing lanes, forcing them long when clearing the ball. Third, pressing. Look at this pressing map. Arsenal's consistently trapped Leeds in their own half, recovering possession in advanced areas. For Leeds, the issues were clear. Their midfield screen was bypassed too easily, their fullbacks were dragged into overloads, and the defensive line lost concentration at key moments. They had just a 0.17 expected goals, barely troubling Raya. Leeds looked like a promoted side, still adapting to the elite level tempo. This result keeps Arsenal perfect after 2 matches and firmly in the title conversation. But Arteta faces new challenges. Odegaard and Saka are injury concerns, with Liverpool next, That's where squad depth really matters, and new signing Eze could step into the creative role if needed. For Leeds, it's a reality check. They looked competitive in their first game of the season, but against top-tier possession sides, their tactical naivety was punished. They'll need to sharpen their defensive structure quickly to avoid being overrun by other top six sides. In the end, Arsenal were ruthless. Set-piece mastery, attacking depth, and defensive control. This was as complete a performance as you'll see. But with the injuries to key players, the real test comes next week against Liverpool. That wraps up this tactical analysis. If you enjoyed, hit subscribe, drop a like, and let me know down in the comments below who impressed you most in this 5-0 victory. Catch you next week.